up, everybody? This is Damron with Trash Ass Gamers, bringing you another veteran dungeon guide in Elder Scrolls Online. This is for City of Ash 1, which is in Green Shade of the Aldmeri Dominion. This dungeon is very, very easy. In my opinion, it's probably the second easiest dungeon in the game, behind Banished Cells 1. So, super easy dungeon to run. Make sure your vampirism is low if you're running in City of Ash, or 1 or 2 really. There's a lot of flame damage in this dungeon, so that's something you want to go ahead and clean that up if you're running on veteran. But overall, this is not a tough dungeon. Again, I will keep these videos complete. I'll fast forward through the ads as we go, not to waste too much time, but I will keep it complete so you know where I'm at, how I got there, and so you don't miss anything. We'll talk about the strategies of the boss, which in this dungeon, they're relatively straightforward. Um, so we'll meet at the first boss. Alright, so the first boss that we're going to come up here is the Infernal Guardian. It's essentially just a lurcher with a little bit more health. It's a good idea just to keep the tank, to have the boss stay in the room where he spawns facing the wall. That way when he shoots these flames, the majority of them will actually go toward the wall and not create AoEs on the ground where you're trying to do DPS. Whereas if you do them out in the area, he'll shoot him in the ground, and you kind of want to stay away from those. But as you saw, he has a low health, low defense, so honestly, it doesn't matter. If your DPS is good, you'll kill him no problem. Alright, next up is Golor the Banekin handler. He's got a couple Banekin, as you saw, near him, but really poses no threat. He's a little mini boss that doesn't have much health. He can spawn Banekin in if you're taking a while to kill him, but generally you should be able to clean him up really no problem. And just after that fight is our next boss. He can bring a lot of flame damage onto the ground, the Warden of the Shrine. He'll create this circular area of flame. If you are a melee DPS, you can stand in the middle of it. If you look here, the middle of it is actually free of damage. So there's little circles of flame damage that kind of surround an empty space. But he will throw some flame randomly out as he did there. So again, if you're a vampire, it can do more damage. But overall, he doesn't really do that much damage. He can do a Nightblade teleport attack, as you saw there. But Tank just, kind of stay still and pull the aggro back, and he really should cause you no problem. Again, all the bosses in this dungeon are relatively easy, and shouldn't give you too much problems. Next up is the Dark Ember, which is basically a flame Atronach. I really don't know what is more dangerous about him compared to flame Atronach Ad. I guess he has more health, and his attacks can do a triple lava out of the ground. But other than that, he just kind of stand there and melee, and he'll throw some flame attacks every once in a while, but not really going to do much damage to you, and he doesn't have very much health at all or defense, so you'll kill him off very fast and not too much to worry about now. Now you can't get through that gate until you kill the previous bosses, so keep that in mind. And basically right after that boss, when we get to the top of these stairs, is our next boss, and actually our second to last boss of this dungeon. So again, a very easy dungeon. um, so we'll battle her, Retherio Flameheart. Now she has this little tiny whip that causes a little AoE around her. You don't really need to avoid that, honestly. The only thing you really need to avoid are these AoE flames that she drops on the ground. And she spawns basically these tiny little replicas of her, but they hardly have any health. So if you have AoEs on the ground, they'll probably die before they really do anything to you. And again, like every other boss in this dungeon, she doesn't have that much health, certainly no defense. You're going to clean her up fast, and the flames that she does just don't cause that much damage. As long as you're not standing them, like a scrub, you're going to be fine. So let's go to the final boss very quick and read our scroll. And we're going to go up against the final boss in the dungeon very quickly. So this boss isn't too bad again. Razor Master Earthus, he will spawn some flame Atronachs throughout the fight, and they can be kind of scattered. They'll, shoot attacks at you from afar, so you can take them out if they're giving you problems. But he himself will not really cause you too much difficulty. As long as the tank's holding aggro, you really don't have to worry about getting hit at all. The only things that are going to hit you are the Atronachs from a distance, and he will teleport throughout the fight, and that's the point that I'll, just go ahead and clean up those Atronachs real quick, as you saw there, and then I'll get back on the boss. Not much health, he doesn't really do much damage, his ads don't really do much damage, so again, overall, this is an extremely easy dungeon. Shouldn't give you guys too much trouble, but, like I said, I'm going to make videos for all the veteran content, so let's bang this one out and finish him off, and then we'll talk about the monster set. Alright, so the monster set that comes out of this dungeon, the Infernal Guardian set, as you can see here. I'll show you, pull it up on my helm as I'm standing there taking flame damage. Anyway, so the first part of it's going to give you extra magicka, and the second part is when you use a damage shield ability, you have a 50% chance to lob 3 mortars to the farthest enemy away from you that deals damage to all the enemies within 5 meters of the blast area. It's not very commonly used set, but it's fun to play with. If this video helps you out, please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.